could definitely be possible.
Right.
We don't know what is possible unless we know absolutely everything based on the universe, which we don't.
Yeah.
We don't even know 1%.
This is
So we can't go around saying, oh, because we're humans, we know everything. There could be aliens right now, but we can't.
You could be an alien too, right?
Well, I think I would know.
How would you know? Because you don't know everything.
Because aliens would
You could be
on the next
programmed.
level to humans.
You could be programmed, an alien that is programmed to think he's like a human.
There's a possibility of that, but then there's no way for you to even prove that.
There's no way for you to disprove that, right?
Yeah, and for you to
So
prove it.
that means there's a possibility you could be a programmed alien.
Definitely a possibility.
Yeah, that means for you, you could be anything, everything could be anything. There's nothing that you can have a concrete understanding of reality. In fact, all of this could be an illusion.
Yes, but
You could be having a discussion in your dream right now.
yes, but to get through life, you need human logic.
In your hadith,
Because you live on two. So you need to use
But you may not be
human
living.
logic.
You could be.
So using human logic, if you said I was a potato, I'll say, of course I'm not a potato.
Why would you?
I'm using human logic.
Why would you even use human logic? Because if you're an alien, why are you restricting yourself to human logic? That's already a
But
problem.
that's only based on me saying that I'm an alien. I never said I was.
But how do you know you're not?
I don't. I'm only going to make an assumption. That's why I'm saying.
No, why are you making an assumption that you're not an
But
alien?
based on what we know as humans, we have to make
No,
assumptions.
based on what you think you know. Based on what we think we know.
humans
Right.
know, based on what we've been
All of
taught.
these humans, it could be just an illusion. Because you could be a brain in a jar having this illusion.
Yep.
And you think the people have decided in terms of the definitions of what is alien, what is a potato, what is a man, and so on.
But you said
But it-
decided. That means if you're able to decide, that means you know more than
and I'm
we
saying
actually know, which isn't the case.
you could.
You can't decide.
It is all possible that you are actually a brain in a jar somewhere in a distant galaxy, and you're having this illusion.
based on your imagination. But my imagination might be different.
But is it possible,
we could
though?
both be wrong or both be right.
Is it possible? It could be right.
It's possible. All things
Yeah.
are possible.
So that means
based on the universe.
that means your particular radical skepticism is a belief system that you know that you don't agree with.
It can't be a belief system if I'm being skeptic, because you need
No.
You need to be in.
Do you really believe you're an
before
alien?
it to be
Do you
a
believe
belief
you're an
system.
alien?
I don't know. You can't.
Do you
I
believe
can't-
you're an alien?
I assumed I'm not, based on human logic.
Yeah. So you have a belief which is then gives you this assumption that you're not an alien. So you've taken a
we
set
all
of
have
belief
assumptions.
systems. You've taken some sort of beliefs which is true to you based on your assumptions.
Because I can't 100% prove it, so it's not belief.
Who
it's
said
an
belief has
assumption.
to be all based on evidence?
But if you're assuming
Some people
something,
can
that means
believe,
you're not 100%
you can
sure.
believe that you're the king of England without any evidence.
No, but every king that knows is a king has evidence
No,
to
you
believe they're a
can,
king.
you can believe
But not
without any
because of a
evidence.
king, there's no
You can be
evidence.
deluded, for example, to believe. So you don't need an
But then
evidence
they'll
for
be
it.
put in a mental hole. But that's based on human logic.
No.
again.
The discussion we're having is you could have this position that you have, but we see that in reality, look, you're wearing glasses and you know that these are not turtles in your eyes.
How do I know that?
No, you don't know. It could be turtles. Like when you went to the shop and bought this, you might be thinking, are these turtles or are these sunglasses which are very expensive and very give me the shades?
It depends what lens you're using, because if you're using a human lens, then I would totally agree with
The thing that you have on your hand, which we call a watch, it could be a dragon, right?
But we call it a watch, so it doesn't matter if it's a dragon, because we're humans.
But do you consider? Do you have some kind of acceptability belief system or something which is true to you that this is a watch and not a dragon?
I have to get by life because I'm human too, and I want to be able to get through life being a human. So I have to say
Right.
to myself, this is a watch. Because
Even
everybody says it's a watch.
though it may not be a watch. So you
It
have,
be a watch.
Lloyd,
So we're talking about definitions of things, and a lot of
conceptual understanding of things, not just
And
definitions.
definitions.
but we're defining, like you're saying that could be a dragon, but we have an understanding based on our description of what a dragon is,
Correct.
what a turtle is, what a watch is. And by the descriptions, we need collective, somewhat understanding. By the way, my definition of a watch. So, but check this out. So, like one person might assume a watch always has two
In your
watches.
definition, this If you haven't seen this ever before in your life, but if I told you it gives you time, it's a timekeeper, and a few other functions there because it's a smartwatch. It could be iWatch for maybe Apple or something else, right? Then eventually you're building up a conceptual understanding of what that thing is. I'm not interested in the linguistic definition in one language, but conceptually what this is all about. You can call that a dragon, and yet what you mean by a dragon is a watch. That's what I'm referring to. When I say a dragon, I mean...
But you're using human logic again. Yeah.
So am I going to use...
Because you said time, assuming that his definition of time is the same.
So you're asking me to use a monkey logic when I'm not a monkey. I can only use human logic because I'm human.
And that's exactly what I said, because I wouldn't live my life. I don't want to live on a tree.
Precisely. So, Lloyd, so we've come to the understanding that to get on in your life, you have some principles that you will accept them and you live your life accordingly. So, for example, you would not go up the tallest building up there and then jump thinking that it's actually not empty space there.
Based on human limitations and logic.
Exactly, but you would not dare to jump because you know that when you...
But if I was a bird,
you know that you are not a bird or a dragon,
unless
right?
someone tells me.
Exactly. So in your everyday living, you have set up certain limitations of what is acceptable to you.
It's been set up for me, and
you accept it.
In order to survive, I need to follow the steps as a human being.
Good.
Human logic.
So take that now. Now extend that. Is it possible that nothing existed at one point and then something came from it?
All things are possible. And the reason why I say that is based on human logic.
Human logic tells us it's not possible.
We as humans, right, have no right to define what the universe has defined for us, because we're nowhere near the size of the universe. So how can we say, oh, humans, this is our way, so listen to us, but we've never been to Mars, we've never been to Jupiter, there's different places of the galaxies that we've never even seen, can't comprehend, but we're now going to come and say, oh, listen to us, because our human logic makes sense. It's arrogant. So
this human logic
to use human logic to get by in
but
life,
this human logic
we're on Earth, but you
are we going to use the
assume
human logic?
That human logic is all correct.
Are we going to use this human logic? Nothing which has no existence of its own, which has no energy particles, quanta of fluctuations, it cannot make something, according to human logic.
According to human logic.
And you said according to human logic, let's go by human logic.
We have to go by human logic. You're going by human logic now.
That's what we want to have a common ground now. No, that's what I want to ascertain. So you accept human logic. According to human logic...
I think I am anyway.
Very good. According to Lloyd, according to human logic, there cannot be a time in the distant past there was absolute nothingness. Do you agree?
That there cannot be a time before human logic.
No. According to human logic, there could not be in our past of our existence, of our reality here, that there was absolute nothing at one point.
No, but some people that are humans believe there was.
According to human logic, I'm saying. No, I'm not talking to people who are deluded.
His human logic, the way he described is that anything is
Tell me about logic then.
Have all the information.
Okay, human logic.
What is the foundation of logic?
Applies to every single person.
Tell me about logic.
Has different perspective.
Tell me about logic.
Fine. You can't say.
So we come to a point.
Wrong. Like,
Lloyd,
you can't do that.
The crux of our understanding, the discussion is about logic. What is logic to you?
No, I said human logic.
Sure. What is human logic to you?
What's human logic to me? What works for me? What makes sense?
No. What does it mean, logic? What does the word logic conceptually mean?
A logical sequence, something that's in order that seems to provide the result that you're looking for. So you go step by step and you come with the answer and you're able to predict the answer based on the logical steps you've used. So that's human logic.
Fine.
But there might be more logics that
Do you accept at least that?
ready for.
Do you accept that at least? This is the logic.
Based on my perspective, but you will have to ask every single person here what their logic is, and I'm pretty sure it won't be the same.
So you're saying, according to human logic, someone might say, you know what, I exist, and someone might say that I don't exist, and logically speaking, is that what you're saying?
Precisely, because there's too many humans on the planet. So how the hell are we gonna? Then
perhaps we need to rediscuss what logic is and rediscuss what human is, because human logic is not something like that. You come with a set of principles that everyone's going to disagree with, because when we have logical structure to something, language that we speak. So far, you've been speaking in English language with a particular logical structure to that language. You're using English grammar. You're using English grammar. You're not using Arabic grammar, for example. Please, you're not using the grammatical principles in that language you're speaking in English from, say, Hindi or Arabic. You're not. You're using English grammar in which it tells you that I am, not I is. Using those principles. So the fact that you're talking about human logic, human beings have decided what are the logic and the parameters of logic, what is acceptable, what is not. You are saying there is no agreement, but that's why you're wrong, my friend. I have to tell you bluntly. But we have agreed. If you study logic in any school, university, college, any courses, they will tell you there are logical structures of our conversation, of our arguments. No. How this follows. So, for example, if you have this, you have premise, conclusion, and so on. It's not conclusion and then premise. There is a logical structure to it, and they all agree. If we are going to be logical, we're going to take that approach. You, for some reason, don't even know that there is an agreement.
But I do, because I'm using human logic.
He's correct though, because...
How is he correct?
Like, let's say we wanted to bake a cake. What is the order of things that we need to do in order to bake a cake? You can use several different tools to bake a cake. You can order things differently inside a pan, and both methods, if you're doing two different methods, result in a cake, but the logic is the path is different, and I'm making that as a metaphor, so logic, but they both result in the same thing. So that's what he's saying. He's saying, like, for example, if we both wanted to make a cake, him and I, we might both take it in different approaches.
But his approach is, if you take this approach, there will be no result.
But how do you know there will be no result?
His approach is there will be no result.
So, but one thing that I kind of want.
That's what you're saying. Someone will disagree. Someone will say, yes, I exist and I don't exist.
But it doesn't matter if they disagree.
Do you accept?
They're allowed to disagree.
Let's settle this. Let's settle this properly. Do you accept the principle of non-contradiction?
Of non-contradiction.
What is the principle?
Yeah, explain that.
You talk about human logic. Let's delve with it a bit further. If you don't know, I can explain to you. When we say about principle of non-contradiction, we are saying two things which are mutually exclusive cannot be true at the same time.
I mean, how would we even know? Because again, we're only bound by human logic.
Human logic is what the logicians agreed to. There is something called the principle of non-contradiction.
Yeah, but human logic doesn't define the universe. We can only assume.
I'm talking about the principle of non-contradiction.
Based on human logic. Again,
if you go and based on human logic, they've agreed to that principle, and you're saying no, they haven't.
No, I haven't said that. I said I'm saying that the most important people in the world who have decided to agree with it have obviously published it, and it's now become a study. So whoever wants to study it can now agree with it. Whoever doesn't want to study can study something else. There will still be different.
Let me give you an example. Can there be a triangular square anywhere in our cosmos?
But I haven't been to the cosmos.
According to you, no. According to you, it's possible, right?
But I haven't been there.
Can there be a married bachelor in our planet Earth? A married bachelor.
But that's human logic again.
Yes, so according to human logic.
Go back to Earth and talk about earthly things. Lloyd, I'm happy to do it, and we might agree.
Lloyd,
if we're talking about the universe,
according to human logic, can there be a married bachelor?
Say again?
Can we have a married bachelor?
According to human logic, no.
Why not?
Because human logic says no.
No, explain to me. Why not?
Because based on human logic, based on someone who did the study, they said
expand a bit more. Expand a bit more.
If you're married,
consider
you're not a bachelor.
Okay. Oh, so if you exist, you don't not exist.
Based on human logic.
So based on human logic, if you exist, that means you don't not exist.
Yeah, but
the opposite is.
But if you take a journey outside the spectrum of being human, which you can't do because you're human and all you're gonna know is human, you were raised to see human, you were taught to be.
So
human,
there could be a married bachelor then.
And everything every knowledge that you have was learned from humans.
So if we don't use human logic, you can have a married bachelor. Is that what you're saying?
If you don't use human logic, then you can think to yourself, okay,
so there can be a married bachelor
than us.
So there can be a married bachelor if you don't use human logic.
I wouldn't know that, but maybe you.
Because look, first, married and bachelor are two concepts which human beings created. What about married or bachelor translates into the physical world? Because if there was no language, if there was no English, no Portuguese, no Spanish.
You can forget language, just concept. But you're considering too much of the definitions.
Hear me out.
Concepts. Conceptually, two which are mutually exclusive. You're saying.
Yeah, because from that perspective, neither bachelor nor married exists. Because there's no physical thing that makes something married or something bachelor.
In absolute sense of reality, someone who exists and someone doesn't exist at the same time.
What is reality?
I don't know about that. That's not my
But what is reality?
So,
human reality, based on your experiences, based on being a human.
But
you can only talk based on.
But you may not
experience.
exist.
You can't
But you
talk
may not
based
exist.
on every single thing that exists in the universe.
Yeah.
Because you can't do that.
So it's
you
possible.
have no right to say human logic is right.
When you're getting married to someone, it's possible that she doesn't exist at the same time when she's existing, right?
Not based on human logic.
So when she says to you, "I love you," for example, actually, she may not have said that at the same time. It could be something that you're imagining.
But it depends what lens you choose to use, and because I'm a human, I'm going to use
When it comes to reality,
what is reality?
which food do you eat? Which clothes do you wear? Which job? You seem to have left all of this and say, you know what? I go by that approach. But when it comes to talking about God, Creator, talking about afterlife, because that's the consequences of our discussion, you are radically skeptic because you know that if you don't apply what you apply in your everyday mundane life, you're going to have a problem. So the real consistency is of the one who is sincerely apply his life and apply those principles throughout every single investigation and inquiry.
How do you know this?
Do you go and live your life and apply the same sort of standards when it comes to religion, when it comes to God, when it comes to the Creator?
Of course. Why would I?
Okay.
Why would I not?
So is it possible that it is possible in the distant past there could be absolute nothing and then we came into existence?
Based on human logic. Because, like I said, you don't know everything. I don't know everything. So we cannot now start making grounds of human is the center of information.
Fine, got you, my friend. So basically what you're saying is like this. If I have no money, no friends, no bank, thinking, listen. Imagine I have no friends, I have no banks, no money-making machines, nothing to money. But according to you, I can give you millions of pounds. You believe that?
But everything you've just said was created by man, wasn't created by God.
Lloyd, listen.
Every word you just said, to strike off the sentence, was not created by.
Listen.
It was created by.
Think.
You were taught to say these things. So what?
Imagine.
What do you know?
Imagine I borrowed £1,000 from you, and
that
then
sentence already
no. Imagine. Don't you have £1,000? Is that how broke you are?
But £1,000.
Do you have that amount of money?
Talking about God, so you've
No, please.
Your whole argument.
I am going to establish something, Lloyd. Let's assume you have £1,000 and you're not that broke, right? You gave me that money, I borrowed from you. Okay? I borrowed from you, and then I'm telling you, I can't give that money to you because I don't have it. I can't work for it. I have no friends. I have no bank. I have no money-making machines. But you still think I can just pull it from thin air and give it to you. Is that what you think? If I say I have no money, you still believe I have money.
But why would I
Someone did that in the first place, didn't they?
But you can go.
The money that he gave me, I actually spent it, right?
But you can.
You saw it.
Money.
You saw it. But he believes the money that he lent me, I can give it back to him. Somehow I still have it.
But you can't use
what would you say
word,
about him?
You can't use the word believe.
I'm not sure where you're
the one that believes.
I am saying my friend Lloyd here, in a situation like this, he would want his money back. He would not say.
But you're making up a situation.
I'm not making up a situation. I am saying when the reality hits, you will become real.
But it's
you
your
no longer
reality. It's not
you're
mine.
no longer living this bubble that you're living at the moment.
But it's your reality that you create in your head, and you want me to be a part of that reality.
Do you eat
that doesn't make sense. You don't owe me £1,000.
Do you eat soil?
You all of a sudden decided that I owe you £1,000, and you think that's reality.
Do you
and
eat
it's
soil?
your reality. That's limitation based on you being human.
Do you eat
Yeah,
soil?
but I don't understand the example if we're talking about the universe.
Okay. Do you eat
it's
bricks?
Still limits. Like you can't break through because you can only you can't comprehend more than what you already know.
Do you eat stones for your breakfast? Stones.
Stones? No. You do. How does it taste?
Yeah. According to human logic, people can eat stones, right?
No, according to human logic, you don't eat stones.
So I don't understand that. According to, you see, you have a set of human logic in which you want everyone to have disagreements, agreements, and disagreements. You're missing the whole point. Either human logic tells
Are you
us...
trying to say no human on this planet doesn't eat stones?
Oh, I see.
Are you saying that?
So you're saying...
No.
According to human logic, people can...
deflection because you made the claim. So are you saying all humans on this planet don't eat stones?
Who
Is that
does?
what you're saying?
Who does?
So you're saying you don't know? So if you
I'm
don't
asking
know,
you, who does?
you can't make that
No,
statement.
who does?
But
According to you,
do you know,
some people do, yeah?
how do you know? Have you met every single person on this planet?
yes.
You've met every single person on this
Because you
planet.
haven't, there are people out there who eat stones.
He knows everything.
How
You know
many
what,
people
brother?
have you met?
Because you haven't seen them, there are people who eat stones.
You don't know this.
Exactly, isn't it? Because we don't know, there are people who eat arsenic.
There's so much about the planet that we don't even know. So for you to now
Exactly, my
assume that
friend.
every human don't eat stones shows that you're still going based on your limitations. What you've been taught is what you're limited to, and that's why you're failing. Because if you can go past the things that you haven't been taught, then you can understand that I could actually be completely wrong about what you've just said.
But there are certain species who eat stones.
Certain?
Species.
I'm talking about human beings.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but they might be human beings.
Yeah, according to you, human beings,
type
there
of
might be
organ.
human beings on planet. According to him, because I haven't seen them, they must do. It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But every human,
Exactly.
immune system is different.
Until you met everyone and asked everyone.
Yeah.
You haven't met everyone. You haven't been
Because you haven't met
everywhere.
everyone,
Like, how you
there might be
supposed to know
people out
this?
there who have wings too.
Ignorance at its finest. Everywhere.
Yeah, look, listen.
Ignorance at its finest.
This is being very consistent. Because you haven't met every human being on planet Earth, there might be a human being who's got wings and flies. Yeah?
Yes.
How do we know
How
that
do
we-
you
that there
know?
isn't?
Yeah, so
haven't
according
met
to
every
you,
single
I would guess
being.
no, but
You've only been
they could
hard
be.
far.
Yeah,
You've only been hard far.
Exactly,
You haven't been
exactly,
to the
exactly.
remote places of the world.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Exactly.
Don't make assumptions if you've got no proof.
Precisely. So according to you, because you haven't seen everything is possible.
Don't make
Have you?
an assumption that
Have you?
right now that eat stones, but they're not going to tell you because you've shamed them.
Do you know what happens when you eat stones?
Do you know what happens?
Yeah, I do. Do you know?
Yeah. To me and you, because we seem quite similar, we probably have the same result.
Things are superhuman.
But there's
Those who
different-
eat stones.
Oh, so they're superhumans.
No, I'm asking you.
No,
if
because
they
I'm
eat
saying-
stones and they survive, and they get the nutrients from the stones, according to you, are they human or superhuman?
But how am I supposed to know? I haven't met every human. You said you have. So
No,
tell me.
I haven't.
You said you met every single human.
When did I say
and-
that? Are you even listening?
But you just said that if you eat stone,
I know what's going to
then
happen.
you get the same result. Or we all get the same result.
And what
How do
you're
you
saying?
know? You haven't met every single human.
So you're saying basically we can have people who eat, for example, all the poisons that we know of, acids and everything.
All the poisons that we know of, already that's limitations because that means there might be more. How do you know there isn't more?
Think about it from this perspective.
So there could be human beings, when they drop themselves from tall skyscrapers, nothing will happen to them, right?
I mean, you said that.
No, I'm asking you.
I didn't come out my mouth.
Is it possible in your belief system
I don't have a
that there
belief
may be
system.
human
You have a belief
beings
system.
who, when they drop themselves off from 100-story building, nothing will happen to them?
But if they have wings, why would they fall on the floor? But you haven't met every single person, so you don't know if they have wings or not.
So even if they don't, even if they didn't have wings,
But how do you
according
know? How many people have you met in your life?
so there are people out there who have
Only
wings.
hundreds.
Okay, fine.
Like
So there are people who have there who have wings, and they would not fall. Suppose they didn't have wings, and if they fall, according to you, they will still not be harmed, right?
But you're saying according to me as if I know everything. I don't know everything, and I'm not afraid to
So let
admit
me
that.
tell you
But you're
something.
saying you do. I'm challenging you. You can't say all these things.
Let me
if
assert.
You haven't met every single person.
Let me assert something.
You haven't been to Mars. You haven't been.
Let
to
me
Jupiter.
assert something.
You don't even know how many galaxies are there. So how are you supposed to know all these things?
So according to you,
because of human logic, this egotistical perspective.
Egotistical.
Like, yes, because
I use something
universe.
that is factual,
Based
common
on
sense.
Human logic. Again,
what am I going to use?
Falls back to that.
What logic am I going to use?
Well, you can't use bird logic because you're not a bird.
So why are you faulting me for it then?
I'm not faulting you.
So
I'm
don't
telling
bring
you that
it
that's
again.
what
You're using human logic because I can only use human logic.
But if you're using a hammer, I'm going to tell you you're using a hammer. Right now you're using human logic. You're using human logic. I'm just letting you know. But you cannot assume that that's the universe.
Yeah. So you're saying it is possible out there. There's a human being. If you put them into a machine that crushes even iron, even diamonds, more stronger than human beings. But according to my friend Lloyd here, the people out there, it's possible, nothing will happen to them. They'll come out, they will break those machines and they'll come out unscathed, yeah?
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Because if it happens now, what are you going to say? You're going to swallow your words. You're only going.
Is it possible tomorrow you grow wings, yeah? Is it possible tomorrow?
How do you know it's not going to happen? How do you know?
Human logic again.
Human logic, right? Based on your limitation. Because you haven't experienced it, you're going to use what you've experienced. So you've
In fact,
destroyed your
brother, in fact, it is possible. Lloyd actually doesn't have any brains in the skull and is still thinking.
But that's just
possible.
So that's nothing to do with
Is it possible, according to him?
That's manipulation.
May I ask that question? May I ask? It sounds shocking to many, but may I ask? Is it possible?
You make up stuff anytime
Wait,
you want.
wait.
You said
Lloyd.
1,000.
Lloyd.
When did
Lloyd.
I wasn't there.
Please.
Based on reality, I owed you 1,000.
Is it possible? Is it possible, in your understanding, in your human logic, it's possible?
It's our human logic because we're
in our human logic, is it possible, Lloyd, that inside your skull there could be no brains and you can still think, right?
I don't know. Why would I make such a claim like that?
But is it possible?
I don't know everything. You know everything.
Is it possible?
No, I should ask you. Is it possible?
No,
you've met every single human being on the planet.
I haven't met, but I can say it's not possible.
Jupiter, Mars. You've been to all galaxies.
No, I haven't been there, but I can be pretty certain.
Years. You know.
I'm telling you.
You know.
I haven't been there.
Of the whole universe, so we should all listen to you. Everyone listen to
Lloyd,
him.
can you just one time
listen to him?
Once more confirm. Once more confirm. It's possible in your reasoning. There's a minute chance that inside your skull there is no brains and you can still think.
But you've made up that concept in your own head.
I'm asking. Is it possible?
Anything's possible.
Did you hear that?
Subhanallah.
It's possible.
Anything's possible.
So that is what we say when people really are not in a real bubble of reality. This is what happens to the perspective of life.
But that's what I should be saying to you.
Look, if you use...
Because you're using your experience and everyone else's experience based on being human on your logic. But we're human. So...
how do you think we're all human?
Unless you're telling me... Wait,
how can you affirm we're all human?
Wait, but unless you're telling me that...
This can be someone who is a alien from another planet.
But unless you're telling me we're the only humans in this universe, you can't make this claim.
Is it possible
your
that you're not
argument
speaking to
drops
us?
dead.
Is it possible you're not speaking to us?
But before I answer this question, are we the only humans?
Is it possible you're not
Are we the
speaking
only
to
humans in this universe?
Are you speaking to
Are
me?
we the only humans?
Are you speaking
Are
to me?
we the only humans in this universe?
Are you speaking to me?
Can't answer.
I'm asking you. Are you speaking to me?
Based on limits,
before about the possibility of this whole experience being a brain in a vat with sensors kind of like
humans. Knowledge is everything in the universe. It's ridiculous, and we ain't been to Mars. Has anyone been to the moon here? And the moon is just there. Has anyone been there? No.
Why are you arrogant enough to think you're a human?
Have you been to? Oh yeah, no. Say that again. That's a good
why are you arrogant? You're a human.
I don't know I'm a human.
So why do you call yourself a human?
I assume I'm a human. I assume. But who taught me I was a human? I went to school. Blah blah blah. Went to school, right? So they told you. So we believe it.
So before you went to school,
because we're human.
He has no heart, no lungs, no kidneys.
I knew I was a human before going to school.
you had a dummy in your
When you went
mouth.
to school?
So you knew you was a human and you had a dummy in your mouth.
So
And you could barely
when you
walk.
went to school, you thought you were a dog, and then they convinced you were a human?
But you didn't even know what a dog was. So how do you say you're a dog?
All of these things are concepts.
Anyway, can you ask my
It's like
question?
What a physical human body actually is
Can
different from
I ask you a question? Is it possible to have organized information? Like example, a literature. Do you have a book in your hand? Can I borrow that book, whatever that is?
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
He assumed
Look. It's got lots of text. Yeah?
He assumed.
Is it possible
Whatever it is. Right?
without intelligence, which intelligence, this information come by me?
It's intelligence.
I'm asking this gentleman a
I think
question.
so. I think so.
It's possible, yeah? So you're saying structured sentences and phrases, whole chapters. It's possible that they can be gathered together
By humans.
and make sense without any intelligent agency. If you have letters of the alphabet, A to Z, and you just mix it in a big warehouse, blow some air, and then open the door, and guess what? All the letters align together and produce a chapter like that.
If you run enough times a randomized version of that, eventually you get
But
might be
why
an
should we
infinite
listen to
number
you?
so
You've
big
never
that we
been to
can't
space.
conceptualize it, but
You've never been to the moon.
by
You haven't
chance
been nowhere.
it is possible.
Yeah. So by chance, you can get possible. Have you ever seen anything happening ever in your life?
See, have you ever seen anything happen based on human experience?
Have you?
There have been things in life that were unlikely to have happened.
Well, have you ever seen? Now let's do.
Oh, see, he's trying to cut you
Let's
off.
now
You hit something.
let's now really realistic. Have we ever seen?
Realistic. He said realistic.
Yeah, so this is where
Have you ever?
where
No, have what's your name?
Felipe.
Felipe. Have you ever observed information of this nature gathered together by chance? Ever?
Have you ever
anyone?
observed?
Has anyone?
Not this nature.
Has anyone
Have you
observed?
ever observed human experience?
But this is
So
what